Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay and everyone is doing well. Eek! Guys, bullying clearly works, because what do you mean by doing Love Island reviews again? Bullying works, but as you guys know, I actually traveled and I got back on the day Love Island aired, and I was really tired. And what was so funny was, shout out to everyone who was joining the live whilst I was away, child. But so many of you were asking me, Sarah, I can't wait for the reviews. Then when Love Island started, you were messaging, Sarah, where are the reviews? And I was just like, guys, mentally I was so switched off, especially because a few people were tagging me in the first video or the first episode, and I saw the situation with Alima and Blue and him saying everyone is, and I just thought, this is 2025. We're not doing this retired storyline about the beautiful black girl not being desired. I'm so sorry, like, I'm over it, and I'm sure you're over it too. But we did manage to catch up. I spoke to some of my cousins who are tuned in. I spoke to some of my friends. I spoke to some of you guys who are tuned in, and as you guys know, I've been tweeting since I've caught up, and I decided, you know what, let's just do a big debrief video, because debrief, did I say debrief? Debrief, I think I said debrief, I don't know, I'll see when I edit it. Anyway, let's just do a big debrief video, because some people haven't actually watched the episodes. Some people have been telling me I need to watch Love Island USA. Yeah, so I figured this video is going to be for those. By the way, are you watching Love Island USA? I think I might start. People are telling me that it's really good, but we'll check that out after. So today's video is going to be a big debrief video. We're going to do it for two people. The first set of people are for those who cannot be bothered to watch Love Island UK 9 hours worth, or whatever, how many hours it's been. So I'm going to do a quick debrief so that you can be all caught up. And the second is also for those who have actually stayed up to date with the episode so far, and you just want to get my thoughts and feedback on some of the major things that have happened. So you can definitely check out the timestamps so that you can get to my review per episode as you would like to view it. Some people have been telling me that I need to watch Love Island USA because apparently it's popping, and a lot of people have been tagging me in it on Twitter as well in terms of the clip, so I might check that out as well if I have the capacity to. I might check it out because apparently it's looking real juicy. But with that being said, hi guys, it was great to be back. So as I usually always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. We love having you here, and we love a chin wag too. Also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. And number three, please get cozy and comfy with a nice cold drink, not a hot drink, because it is so hot here in the United Kingdom. All right, so get cozy and comfy with a nice cold drink, and let's get into today's review, chat, because one thing I'm going to do is I must tear a single or two. Yeah. So, alrighty, so let us start off with our quick debrief of episode 1, introducing all of the girls into the villa. And I'll quickly give you my first impressions, because I think first impressions are really important, especially as the season goes on, and how some of them are acting very a bit too erratic for my liking. And if you know me well, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But let's start off with Shakira. Oh, baby, when you talk like that. Yeah, Shakira, a very confident babe. Wow, I absolutely love her. She has a gorgeous body, and she also has a great vibe. Megan and Shakira came together. I think Megan, my first impressions of her was that she seems quite, you know, normal. You know, I don't know if I was wild or unwild. I was just, okay. We got Megan. Moving on to Sophie, she actually is a burns survivor. And I instantly thought, though, I can't lie, when I instantly saw Sophie, I just instantly thought, have Love Island casted guys who are okay with dating outside of their race? Because that's the thing that they do usually. They kind of like put people in the first couple of scenes, and it's just like, yeah, this person's this person's that, whether you're black, you're Asian, you're this or whatever, and then you don't put in guys who are attracted to those type of women. So those were the first thoughts that I actually had. But wow, I loved Sophie in the red. She looks gorgeous. Alima, 23 and peng. Okay, 23 and peng, bilingual queen. I know that's right. Another Megan from Dublin. I thought she was quite cool as well, bless her. And then Helena. Yeah, and then Helena. No shades, guys. I'm not even shading, honestly. I just, you know, Helena, cool. Of course, I was speaking about their icks and all the different things, and then my drummer walked in, bish bash bosh, but this recoupling was going to be a bit different. So in this recoupling, all of the girls were given a statement about a certain guy, and they were given the opportunity to stand behind the statement of that guy, and then the guys, of course, walked in. So quick impressions of the guys, I would say first impressions was shout out, I keep doing this by the way, I'm so sorry, but shout out to the Love Island producers, because wow, they casted tall men. And that's not saying that short men don't deserve love, okay? You guys are in our hearts, we love you deep, but you know the tall guys, a bit of May. I'm not going to get into all of the guys because I don't think there is a need to get into all of them, but the only one I will point out is obviously the situation with Blue and Alima. So obviously Blue comes out and you know Maya Jama is just like, you know, like, what do you think of Alima? Alima chose you to couple up with, and he's just like, oh, the girls are beautiful. Stop right there. Is that what she asked you? Is that what she asked you, Blue? Okay. Very interesting. And last but not least, at night time, Maya Jama gathered all of them around the fire pit, and a new bombshell walked in, and the bombshell's name was Tony, and she was from the United States of America. Yeah, she was from the US. So I love the crossover. All right, it's given crossover, and she's actually the first US contestant on UK Love Island. So I did really love that. And yeah, she's 24, and she's flown all over. Okay, she's flown from the US for love. So I said, okay, girl, do your thing. But of course, she ended up choosing Ben, which left Shakira single. And instantly I was just thinking as well, wow, I know Shakira's not getting dumped, because one thing I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, is that if you fly people over for Love Island, wherever they come from, whether it's London, wherever, okay, UK, wherever in the UK, wherever in the world, right, I believe that every single contestant should stay there for 1 week minimum, because there's no way you made me pack for a holiday and you're sending me home after 24 hours. There's none. But of course, Maya Jama did let them know that there was going to be a cliffhanger, and in that cliffhanger / ultimatum, Shakira had to find a connection with someone else within 24 hours, or else she would be getting dumped. And if she found a connection with another guy who's already in a couple, then the girl that guy was coupled up with would also be getting dumped as well. Now, briefly moving on to episode 2. Of course, a lot of the girls were getting to know Tony, our new babe from Las Vegas, honey. And of course, Shakira at this moment was getting to know everyone as well. I do have to rate it. She was on her grind. Like, she was chit-chatting to every single person in that villa, and I did like that, because one, it shows she's not scared to step on any ties, of course, but also two, she's making it known that I'm not leaving. Okay, I ain't leaving. But we do know at night time that Shakira ended up coupling up with Harry, who was of course in a couple with Sophie, and because she coupled up with him, Sophie was then dumped from the villa. And once again, I absolutely hate that, because what do you mean I packed for a holiday and you're sending me home? I'm not leaving. Okay, now moving on to episode 3. Like I said, guys, for breezing through this, of course, Ben, Tony and Shakira, there was a whole situation with that, because of course Tony told Ben, you know, not everything is about you, and Ben was really frustrated and annoyed. And I feel like the only thing that could have made him that annoyed was the fact that, as we know, Ben actually already liked Shakira, and I think it was just rubbing him off, the wrong way, that he wasn't chosen. But as you know, Shakira and Tony are actually quite cool in the villa, so I think she didn't want to send her home, and she was also being considerate of the fact that they were in a couple. So there's that. But one thing I will say as well is that for me, Ben is giving the type of vibe that he's only nice to girls that he likes. Yeah, because the way he was speaking to Tony, I don't know who you're talking to, babes. I read it. Is it because you're tall that you think you can talk to people anyhow? Because that's not the case at all. But yeah, it was given weird. And I feel like men that are like that are actually quite strange, because you should just be nice to everyone, whether you like a girl or not, or you find her attractive or not. You should just be nice to her anyway. Next, moving on to Dejon and Meg kissing on the terrace, talking about their feelings. I was thinking, oh, brother, okay? And I'm sticking by that, because even now that we are on episode 8 or 9, both of them as a couple, if this continues, guys, they can go. Okay, if what they are doing continues, cut the cameras and send them home. So next, moving on to them getting a text whilst they were getting ready, that Shea Butter, and that's what I will be calling him, yes, and Rimmel London, which is exactly what I'll be calling him as well, are by the fire pit. So that means 2 new guys have entered the villa. So quickly starting off with Rimmel London. So Rimmel London is 24. He is a coach, and I think he's a personal trainer. I think they said he's a personal trainer. He gives me typical London guy. I can't explain it. Very like nonchalant, just chilled vibes. Like, yeah, that's me, I'm this, so yeah, I'm calm, I just do my thing, you know what I mean? You know those guys, if you dated a London guy, you know exactly how they are. Like, yeah, I just do my thing, like I don't speak much, I just And Shea Butter, he is 25, he's from Bristol. When I saw him, I said, okay. Like I said, the Love Island producers really ate this year, because they are casting tall men, and we love the tall guys, we really do. Of course, they ended up getting a text as well that it was going to be time for a quick game of dare and dare. It's never truth or dare in Love Island, like ever. It's always dare and dare. And there was a lot of lap dances, a lot of kisses, a lot of, you know, ordered stuff that Love Island producers love to see. And I don't think there was anything crazily alarming, apart from the fact that Rimmel London said that he slept with 5 girls in one night. And you know, you can actually be prosecuted. Do you know you can be prosecuted for that? Yeah, you can be, because first things first is, number one, it's our first impression of you. Why on earth are you giving us that fact? Okay. And number two, 5 women in one night is not the flex that you think it is. It's scary. Okay. It's very scary. It's not the flex that you think it is. Of course, you know that the episode ended with Blue taking Shakira to the hideaway after she had a chat with Harry about the Dare and Dare game. And of course, during the game, Harry was actually stroking Helena's legs because I think they had a kiss or two. But anyway, they ended up having a kiss. And once again, I did already say in my first impressions that I feel like Shakira is a very vibrant and confident babe. But it's definitely given that she's the mandem sugar because sis is eating this season. Okay, she definitely is. Now, let's move on to episode 4. So starting off with Blue, of course, snitching to the villa that he kissed Shakira is giving quam breaking news because as a man, why are you snitching to the villa that I kissed you in the hideaway? Why are you so excited to tell everyone that we locked lips? Oh, am I just strict? Maybe I'm just strict, guys, but as a man, don't be doing that. Harry and Blue were also around the fire pit and he didn't care. And what was so funny was, of course, like Harry was in a couple with Shakira because remember she stole him off Sophie, right? Well, Sophia, sorry. No, Sophie, it's Sophie. And, you know, Harry was just like, so I heard you kiss, I heard you kiss Shakira. And he was just like, yeah, I did. Yeah, she liked it too. Yeah, we had more than one. Yeah, it was given, I don't care if that's your girl. I like what I like. But once again, you don't need to be doing quam. It's really not that deep. Of course, at night time, guys, I won't lie, the cameras definitely need to be stopped because Helena basically woke up in the middle of the night and then she stroked, she wasn't really sleeping, but she was asleep anyway. She stroked Harry's legs and then they ended up going to sleep in the hideaway together. Of course, they had both already discussed the fact that they do like each other, but guys, if this is a safe space, I'm just gonna be honest with you, Harry and Helena don't give for me as a couple. Helena is very unserious for thinking Harry is serious and Harry is just Harry who is unserious, but they give me very boring as a couple. They give me very flat. I don't really care to see the updates with Helena and Harry. I'm so sorry. Of course, the following day, Shakira and Harry had a brief chat. And what was so interesting was, so Harry is in a couple with Shakira. Helena stroked your leg and she told you to come outside and you guys both slept in a hideaway. Shakira was now speaking to Harry the following day and was just like, yeah, by the way, you know, it's not that. And Harry was just like, oh, like, just because I went to the hideaway doesn't mean I still want to get to know you. And I'm just thinking, Harry, be so serious right now. You literally slept in another bed with another girl yesterday and you think on God's green earth that Shakira is going to now open up doors for you to have a chance. Harry. I think you actually need to be so serious. You need to be so serious. Because I think he even told Shakira something like, oh no, the hideaway, honestly, you don't need to worry about that. If I slap, those your lips. And one thing as well that Harry kept doing was he kept going around the villa telling people that he has unfinished business with Shakira. No, babe, the business is finished. Okay? Otita is done. There was never any unfinished business because when you got up from our bed to go and sleep with Helena in the hideaway, that was when things were done. But anyway, we know that they ended up getting a text in which the girls were going to choose who they wanted to recouple with. And Alima ended up choosing Remo London. Tony ended up choosing Connor. Megan ended up choosing Tommy, who I really like, by the way. I really like Tommy. I think he's a sweetheart. Helena ended up choosing Harry. Megan ended up choosing Dejon. And Shakira ended up choosing Ben. Now, because of that, Shea Butter and Blue now had to decide between them pretty much who was staying and who was going. But as we know in episode 5, Blue was actually the one who ended up being dumped from the villa. Unfortunately, because they just didn't feel like he could establish a connection with any of the girls in the villa. And Shea Butter, honestly, he just arrived, okay? He just arrived, so Blue, unfortunately, was sent packing. Now, of course, you know, the following morning, they ended up getting a text, and the boys were getting ready to leave the villa for some bro time. But the plot twist was, the girls were actually watching. So the boys, of course, ended up leaving the villa, but the Love Island producers actually set up a screen in the villa. And you know what I loved about that? Usually when boys are around each other, they talk a lot, number one. But also number two, they feel like, you know, it's bro code, it's safe, it's safe. But the fact that the girls were watching, I said, producers, loving the plot twist, babes. Absolutely loving the plot twist. Sorry, guys. It's so hot that I feel like my wig is sliding back. Wow, it is so hot. But of course, you know that the guys ended up talking about their girls whilst the girls were watching in 4K. And what was so interesting was 2 of the guys were the most vocal, in my opinion. Ben was talking about how the girls haven't been tested. They just haven't really been tested. Blah, blah, blah. A bit of shade, though, because Tony was a bombshell. And even they were just like, yeah, like even Tony was a bombshell. But, you know, it didn't do anything to them, you know. I just thought, rude. Okay. So rude. But also Harry was airing out Helena's dirty business, and this is why I said that I don't know why Helena is so whipped over this guy. This is your enemy. Why are you airing out the business that I've told you in secret to the guys? Okay, Red flag number one. Of course, we know that 3 new girls ended up walking in, and I said, okay. So starting off with Melisha. Melisha is 24 and she is from Hertfordshire. A babe, a tall babe as well. Absolutely stan. We also had Emily. She is 24 and she's from South Wales, and I thought she was really cute. And last but not least, we had Sabrina. Is her name Sabrina? Hold on. Sorry, her name's Yasmin. Last but not least, we had Yasmin from 24. Yasmin 24 from London. If I'm going to give my honest opinion, guys, I think Yasmin was just doing a bit too much. You don't know these girls from Adam or Eve. You don't know these girls from anywhere. And you're just like, yeah, I think this girl's a this. I think you don't know these girls. And the truth is, guys, I'm so sorry, but Yasmin is not the bombshell that she thinks she is. And we're going to get into that later, okay? Of course, they all ended up meeting on camera, and Meg's head absolutely wanted to explode. She was like, I don't like that one in green. Firstly, the name is Melisha. Let's start there. Oh, I'm pissed off. Look at the way Dee's holding her. Look at the way Dee's watching her. Dee's loving it. Oh, I'm pissed off now. My head is hot. I don't. Oti. President General. Okay, the only one to have a hot head in the whole of our island. It's given Faye and it's given Teddy, because, and I know sometimes, you know, we sometimes find these things entertaining, right? But you've been in that villa for 2 minutes. You are no one's property and no one is also your property. Let's be guided, okay? Let's be very guided. But of course, all of them basically said that they that the girls that they are with aren't usually their types, but you know, they're open to getting to know other girls. And you know, it's early days, you know what I mean? It's early days, so I feel like all of them are allowed to have that opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much episode 5. Now quickly moving on to episode 6. My notes are getting longer, so these episodes 6, 7 and 8 might be a bit longer. But of course, starting off with Harry and also Yasmin, because the two of the girls, Yasmin and also Melisha, they ended up staying behind to have like another mini date, right? So starting off, no, actually all 3 of them did. Yasmin, Emily and Melisha. Starting off with Yasmin of course was having a date with who's behind again? Harry. Yasmin's having a date with Harry, and they're just getting to know each other the same way Connor was also having a date with Emily, who I thought, by the way, he was very respectful towards Tony even whilst he was speaking to Emily, which was actually quite good. Okay, Connor, that's a green tick for you. And also Melisha and Dejon, definitely a connection there. It seemed like they had really good chat and I liked them together. Of course, Meg was still doing my head is hot. President General, babes, relax, okay? Now, of course, when the boys returned, they were very much shocked to see that their chats had been publicized on the big screen, and instantly Helena pulled Harry for a chat. And I'm glad that she ripped his singlet a little bit, because I've told you something in confidence. Why are you spilling it to your boys? Why are you actually airing my dirty laundry to strangers? And Harry was like, I didn't show you anything, but you did. Okay, but you definitely did. Tony and Sabrina, I keep saying Sabrina, what's her name? Yasmin. Tony and Yasmin, Yasmin, and this is what I mean, like I don't see Yasmin being the bombshell that she thinks that she is, because Tony and Yasmin was like, oh, I don't see long distance working for you, and Tony was like, okay, but I'm here. You don't have to see what you think will work for me, because you're not me. How many times do I need to tell you? You are not me. So I'm glad that Tony ate her up, because you actually don't know me, but you seem to be, you're talking very confidently, and I don't like that. Of course, you know that Megan ended up calling Dejon for a chat about him talking to Melisha. And guys, it was given obsessive. It's been, what, 2 to 3 days at this point. I just felt like she spoke to him like she was a teacher. She was just like, so what do you have to say for yourself then? I've known you for 72 hours, if that. Please don't speak to me like I'm a child. And I feel like it's entertainment until it isn't. I don't know if I find Meg entertaining. I think she's just rude. Okay, I don't know if I find her entertaining at this point. Don't get me wrong, I know she's definitely repping the crazy girls out there. Okay, if you're crazy, don't worry, girl, do your thing. But you know, there are some girls like that, like the second you start talking to a guy, instantly you're planning your wedding, our kids' names are going to be XYZ, do you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I just feel like, yeah, it's too early for you to be acting like this. And if this is you after 3 days, I fear how you're going to be after 8 weeks, and I also fear how you're going to be in the real world. Of course, you know that Melisha was now speaking to Dejon, and Meg was also in the villa. This is when Meg started getting a bit for me, right? So Melisha was speaking to Dejon, right? And Dejon was also speaking back. And then Meg was in the in the kitchen with the rest of the villa. And of course, you guys know that Melisha also goes to Tate, which is a club in London in Mayfair, which I've actually never been to before actually, but Dejon goes to Tate as well. So Meg was there shouting in the villa, in the kitchen, while she was just like, oh, he said he goes to Tate, she says she goes to Tate. Honestly, how effing boring is that? What does she do? Stand on the pavement on the weekend in Mayfair, just standing there waiting to go to Tate. That's not funny. Guys, that's not funny. There's no way you guys think that's entertaining. Okay, I just thought, why would she say something so awkward like that? Of course, Melisha and I ended up hearing her, and she was like, what did you say, babe? And then Meg started stuttering like, I don't know, guys, I'm literally like, I just said that. Obviously, like, I said that, I say what I say. Do you know what I mean? Like, I said it with my chest, like, yeah, like, you go to Tate, he goes to Tate, but you didn't say it like that, Meg. You didn't say it like that. You didn't. And then instantly when she started saying, oh, you need to pipe down, like, and Dejon was just sitting there like bread as well. I don't care if you've only known me for a couple seconds. Speak up. Okay? Do something. Dejon was just sitting there like this. I was just thinking, no, we're not doing this, Meg. We're really not doing this. Of course, the following morning, we know that Harry and Helena were ironing things out. Once again, I need to stop writing notes about them because I actually find them so boring. I'm so sorry. But also, we know that Melisha and I ended up pulling Meg for a chat and also ironing things out as well. But at night time, it kicked off again. So of course, Melisha now pulls Dejon for a chat again, and she initially said that she wanted to pull him for a chat in the hideaway, right? But he was just like, listen, I don't want any issues, let's just go to the terrace. And mind you, I don't think Melisha intended to pull him for a chat to kiss him in the hideaway. She literally said, so that we can go somewhere quiet, because yeah, there's eyes on us in the villa, let's just go somewhere quiet, bish bash bosh, Bob's your uncle, Sally Duran, right? Of course, he now said to Melisha that he's not really into the drama, and he even told the guys before this conversation as well that, if Meg basically pipes up again, then it's going to be done, because essentially he doesn't like that. He's a really cool and chilled guy. He doesn't want to be involved in situations or people like that. Now, Meg and Helena were now speaking to, Meg was now speaking to Helena, and I think the other Meg, was it Meg, Helena? Yeah, it was Meg, Helena, and Megan. They were all speaking, and they basically encouraged Meg to now go onto the terrace, like, yeah, go and see what they're doing, and then they started laughing, right? They also started laughing. So it just felt like, are those your friends or are those your frenemies, child? Because I don't know. Because why are you listening to people advising you who are laughing as you're literally going to make a fool of yourself? Please do not embarrass yourself over a man, right? Meg now went upstairs and she was listening to the conversation with Melisha and Dejon from the door, and then she opened the door and was just like, hey guys, am I interrupting? Like, can I talk to you, Dejon? Anyway, Melisha and Meg now ended up talking afterwards, and she basically was saying she has no loyalty. No, she was basically saying she has no loyalty to Meg. And then Meg was instantly, her attitude, she was just like, I don't appreciate the fact that you come in here and you spoken to my man. Like, when she said my man at first, I said, wait. Now this is delusion. This is delusion. This is not your husband. This is not your man, whether you like it or not. This is not your man yet. She's like, my man, D, my man. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. Guys, I actually don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Because why are you acting like this after a couple of hours in that villa? And then even when she started saying, your place here isn't relevant, good thing you got rejected, Now, obviously, Melisha's now getting annoyed. She just said, oh, you're an idiot. And then the other Megan now says, they called her an idiot. I just thought, oh, you that I liked, please stop talking. Because you two can be put on that list very quickly like this. Megan, don't jump in if you don't know the situation. And even Melisha was like, you don't even know what she said to me, and you're telling me that I shouldn't call her an idiot. Of course, Meg now ended up shouting, go back to tape. Go back to tape. And I just thought, Meg, gosh. There was a little kick in that statement, go back to tape, because who do you think you're talking to? Guys, I couldn't be in this villa. I tell you guys this all the time anyway, though. I couldn't be in this villa. Because there's no way someone who I don't know is going to talk to me crazily like that for coming in on a show that started a couple of days ago. Yeah, you've already claimed D as my man. It's given delulu. Oh my gosh, guys, talking in this heat is so much. I'm literally sweating. But let's move on to episode 7. So of course, you know, it started off with Melisha crying to Alima, and I'm very glad that Alima was there to comfort Melisha, because literally, I'm a bombshell. The show started literally like a couple of days ago. I've essentially come to do my job, and you are chastising me because you think you're marrying this guy after 2 days. Please don't do none of that. And I'm really glad that Alima was there for her. Even Alima started, you know, she was just like, I'm getting emotional too now, because yeah, don't be, you guys are doing way too much, okay? And I even both of them, sorry, side note, but wow, fine babes unite, because they looked absolutely stunning together. Of course, Alima now ended up going to the rest of the villa, and she just said, Meg, I just want to let you know that I don't think what you done was nice. And I'm glad that she spoke up, because in that moment we know that Melisha she was too emotional and very annoyed at the situation, right? But I'm glad that Alima actually was a voice. Yeah, I'm glad that she was a voice for her, because what you're not going to do is talk crazily to another girl who, like, and I loved Alima even said one thing specifically to Megan. She just said, listen, like, if you can be nice to guys, you can be nice to girls too. And yeah, it's true. You didn't have this smoke for Dejon. Melisha wasn't sitting down talking to herself, babe. She was talking to somebody. You didn't have this smoke for Dejon. You have all this smoke for Melisha, and it's a good thing you got rejected, babe. You've been here for 72 hours. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. I also noted the fact that Shakira even said, oh, I might need to back her as well, whilst Alima was talking to Megan. And it's giving girlhood, because yes, I'm glad that they were happy and ready to speak up when they saw something was wrong. Of course, the following morning, Meg ended up saying, it's a new day. It's a new day, everyone. She doesn't want to go back and forth with anyone. Helena was also saying the same as well. You know, it's a new day to Melisha. And I just thought, wow, yes, it may be a new day, but you disrespected me yesterday. So just because it's a new day and you want to turn it, doesn't mean that I need to do the same. Sorry. I'm so sorry. You can't be rude to me a couple hours ago and the following morning say, ha, it's a new day. The sun is shining, the sky is blue. You can't do that. Now, of course, you know that Shakira, Tony, Alima and Melisha were debriefing about the situation as well. And once again, I love the fact that it was giving girlhood. Now, we know, of course, that Megan ended up pulling Melisha for a chat, and she essentially wanted to apologize for yesterday and her comments. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. Like, you're a grown babe. You should know how to speak to people. And yes, I understand that sometimes some people can lash out, you know, when they're feeling heated or anything like that. But you're heated over a guy and over the fact that I'm in this villa. Are you triggered that I might take your man? Because the next question is why do you believe that your man can be easily taken from you? And if that's the case, why do you have a problem with me? You need to have a problem and a situation and a conversation with your man. Now, of course, you know, they ended up getting a text in which they ended up playing a game called Got the Receipts, where essentially a receipt would come out and then a very interesting fact will come out about an islander, and they had to guess who it was about. Of course, you know that Harry, Sheerbutter and Dejon ended up coming up with a plan in which they didn't care what the receipt read. Either way, they wanted to kiss the girl that they wanted to kiss. Now, very cheeky, okay, but we do know that Harry ended up kissing Shakira, Sheerbutter ended up kissing Megan, and Dejon ended up kissing Melisha. And I found that quite interesting that Dejon waited for such an opportunity in order for him to kiss Melisha. Is it because you're scared of your big mummy? Why did you have to devise a plan in order for you to kiss a babe? If you want to get to know her, you shouldn't care about what Meg says. You guys aren't official. Like I said, it's been 4 or 5 days at this point. It's actually okay. So moving on to the nighttime, of course, the secret was now out that these 3 guys actually ended up playing a game, and they weren't kissing or trying to kiss certain girls because they felt like their name matched up to the receipts. They generally just wanted to kiss these girls, and Harry ended up telling Tommy. Now, Harry now ended up going to, I think, he went to Sheerbutter, and he was just like, oh, we've been infiltrated. Oh, the secret is out. Yeah, because of you. Okay, why are you making it seem like, oh, there was an investigation and they found we were guilty? You're the one that ended up speaking, so why are you now saying the secret is out? Of course, you know that Tommy now ended up telling Megan the tea, and he was very pissed off, obviously, because he knew one of the guys had a plan and they ended up kissing my girl. So Tommy now went up to Sheerbutter, and he was just like, you know, yeah, like, you know, what exactly is going on? I'm hearing this. And then Sheerbutter was just like, yeah, like, I think she's fit. I wanted to kiss her. Like, yeah, I think she's fit. Tommy now got, oh gosh, that's so disrespectful. You lanky lamppost. I said, lanky lamppost. I'm sorry, Tommy. That reaction was funny. Do I feel like his reaction was over the top? Yes, but lanky lamppost was here. He was just, oh, just a lanky lamppost. I just thought, oh gosh, bless him. Bless him, bless him, bless him. All right, guys, now moving on to episode 8, which is the last episode before we are all caught up. I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick debrief. So starting off with Rimmel London speaking to Alima about the challenge. So Alima was very irritated because during the kissing challenge, the receipt challenge anyway, whilst Rimmel London was kissing some of the other girls, he was proper talking dirty to them, rubbing their thighs, all these different things. And Alima basically was just like, listen, I just don't think we're compatible because you're going to do X, Y, Z. And, you know, she isn't even going to accept an apology, blah, blah, blah. Now, Rimmel London, right? Can I be honest with you? I don't want my beautiful babes Alima stressing over a guy that slept with 5 girls in one night. I don't. I really don't. Okay, I really don't. And interestingly enough, I actually don't see the fireworks between Rimmel London and Alima, but the argument was, yeah, literally lasted 2 minutes because we know the following day they ended up kissing and they ended up making up. Now moving on to Yasmin, she ended up asking Dejan at night time if he wanted to have a threesome with her and Tony. Once again, Yasmin to me is just not the bombshell that she thinks she is. I actually think she's quite weird. Like you could tell Yasmin, no, Yasmin can tell you, sorry, no, you can tell Yasmin that, oh, I like your top, and she'll be like, yeah, your man likes it too. Like, I think she's a bit weird. I don't know, am I the only one getting that vibe? I don't think she's given the bombshell that she thinks she's given, but that's just my opinion anyway. Let me know down below if you agree or you disagree. Of course, Melisha and Meg now ended up speaking to Dejan about how he feels, and he pretty much, they both, well, Melisha and Meg basically said that they don't want to be in a triangle. I feel like it's even too early to be calling it a triangle. I don't understand. What's going on? Am I a slow burner? Or is everyone doing too much too soon? Let me know if you agree with that down below. But is everyone doing too much too soon? Why are you guys talking about a triangle on week 1? No one here is closed off and no one here is official. What's going on? Okay? Respectfully, what is going on? Now, of course, at night time, we knew that Emily and Connor ended up going to the hideaway, and Dejan ended up telling his big mummy at the fact that Tony and also Yasmin, but mainly Yasmin, basically asked him for a threesome. Now, the following day, of course, Meg now ended up asking Yasmin and Tony about the comment, and she was like, girls, I just want to quickly talk to you. Dee told me that you guys asked him for a threesome, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, and I just thought, wow, her reaction was so different speaking to Yasmin and speaking to Tony about the threesome comment, but to Melisha you had a completely different tone and a completely different energy, and wasn't that as disrespectful, if not even more disrespectful? Okay, Meg. Now, of course, you know, Dejan and Meg actually ended up arguing, and she said that he needs to tell Yasmin that it's not on. And guys, I'm not even in that villa, but that babe is actually suffocating me. I think Meg is doing way too much. Like, you've been in there for a week. I don't know, is this her first black boyfriend? Who knows? But she's doing way too much. I don't understand. Melisha and I ended up putting Dejan for a chat as well, and he said that he's still trying to get to know her. And Yasmin and Dejan now had a chat as well, and he kept re-emphasizing the fact that he is very much open. But bish bash bosh, they ended up getting a text that there was going to be a recoupling at night time in which the guys will now end up choosing. So let's start off with the new recouples. Starting off with Ben, he ended up choosing Shakira. Tommy ended up choosing Megan. Rimmel London, of course, ended up choosing Alima. Connor ended up choosing Emily. Harry ended up choosing Helena. Dejan ended up choosing Meg. And he was like, obviously, since I've been in the villa, blah, 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 my Meg. I just thought, oh, Dejan, I know what you are. Okay? I know exactly what you are. Very strange. Anyway, he likes chaotic women. I think that's the vibe I'm getting. So you know what? I'm going to leave you guys to do what you're doing. But I don't want to continue to see Meg and Dejan, argument, love, argument. That storyline is going to get boring very quickly. So that's that. And of course, Shea Butter ended up choosing Yasmin, which meant that Tony and Marisha were left single. But, gasp. Wait there, because why am I saying it like that? But anyway, wait there, because Harrison, yes, Harrison was outside waiting for them. Now, Harrison was given 16. Respectfully, I think they said he's 22. That guy looks young, okay? That guy looks young. But essentially, Harrison was going to go on a date with both Melisha and both Tony. And I'm saying both, like Melisha is 2 people. No, he was going to go on a date with both Melisha and Tony. And the person who he ended up choosing meant that he was going to be in a couple of them, and the person going would have been done. dumped. Now, I'm absolutely gutted, okay, that first things first, Harrison was definitely brought in for Tony. That is that. Number one, because he lives in America, if I remember. He lives in Miami, even though he is a semi-pro footballer or something like that. I don't remember. But he lives in Miami, number one. Tony's American. Tick, tick, tick. Also, when he had his date with Melisha, Melisha was like, yeah, like, you're definitely my type. You know, tall, dark, and handsome. Is the dark in the room with us. Okay, I know Melisha was definitely grafting because yes, she needs to secure her spot in the villa, but yeah, is the dark in the room with us? I really do not know, but the game is the game. Honestly, I just, yeah, I'm even gutted even more that it's out of Tony and Melisha to go home, because I like Tony as a character and I like Melisha as a character. How Yasmin scooted her way in there makes absolutely no sense. Emily doesn't really give me much because she doesn't really have screen time, but the fact that Melisha and Tony, like, those are the two options of the two girls who may potentially be staying or leaving, definitely does not sit well with me. And the reason why I also know that Harrison is going to pick Tony is because they were feeding each other strawberries. Yeah, unless it's going to be a plot twist where he picks Melisha, but either way, I don't want either of them to go. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that is it, guys. That is a quick rundown of the last 8 episodes in less than an hour. I don't know how long this video is going to be once I edit it, but that's my quick rundown. Those are my thoughts on some of the cast. Those are my thoughts on some of the storylines. I'm thinking I might edit this and then post it before episode. Yeah, I think I might quickly do that. That way you guys will know that I'm all caught up, and then I don't know, let's see. Let me see. But anyway, yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I really hope you guys did enjoy this quick review. And yeah, I will see you guys in our next review. As always, be sure to subscribe. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad that we're ripping singlets again. Okay, we're ripping and tearing the singlets again. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you. See you in our next review. I'm glad to be back. And yeah, I'll see you later.